And of course, just in case, a brief disclaimer here, what we are talking here in this particular series is not a campaign against knowledge, against knowing, or against using our intellect at all. Actually, it's the very opposite of that. Because by properly embracing uncertainty, we basically remain open to know unlimitedly, to know more and more and more. Remember, our subject matter of study is infinity itself. But if you remain addicted to certainty, our span of knowing becomes more and more limited. You follow my point? Because you can never fully grasp infinity. So if you think I already know everything, you basically know nothing. So openness to uncertainty opens the door for permanent knowing and discovery. So this ignorance, remember we are talking about divine ignorance, this form of unknowing or ignorance is a total precondition to actual wisdom. If we want to become wise sages, as we should, the ignorance is a precondition, a preliminary foundation to that. And the Bible says it very interestingly. It says, make no mistake about it. If any of you think of yourselves as wise, you must learn to be ignorant first, and then you can become wise. So before knowing, know that you don't know, basically. Like Socrates said, he was a very wise person, and he basically concluded saying, the only thing I know is that I don't know. But he really meant it. He really had an insight. His words had carried some weight, content. So we have to get to that point when we realize, I know so many things, but in comparison to what I don't know and to how much I know, what I think I know, I can only conclude that I don't know. And that's something important to know, that you don't know. So in other words, it takes a lot of learning to finally learn ignorance. Although it may sound a contradiction, you have to learn ignorance. In Latin, they call docta ignorantia, or learned ignorance. While learning understands its own limit. You are learning, but there's a limit to our capacity, and there's so much more out there. And this is not merely limited to the realm of spirituality or religion, but it even applies to science and other secular disciplines, where awe, chamatkar, astonishment is a constant in relation to the natural world. We will be continuing talking on this in the next class, how this plays out even in the realm of secularity, how a proper scientist will remain in a constant state of rediscovered by the very nature of reality. So again, needless to say, we need to know certain things. We are not here against certitude, because to have absolute uncertainty about everything on every single level may be quite overwhelming for most of us. Maybe probably a paranoid experience, maybe too much. But especially in relation to the absolute, to the ultimate reality, like Srila Siddhar Maharaj would like to say, there is no limit in how much progress we can make.